students gather to discuss reforming gun laws.
Unions come together to rally on a day of action.
And Northwestern students bring signs to schools across Chicagoland.
We'll have those stories and more coming up tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
It's your news right now.
Good evening and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Andrew Marica.
And I'm Isabel Lawrence.
We begin tonight with some sad news.
Northwestern is coping with a loss in the community this week. SESP junior Kenzie Crow passed away Sunday morning around 9 a.m., according to the Daily Northwestern. This happened almost 24 hours after her friends brought her to St. Francis Hospital Saturday morning. Crow is from Durham, North Carolina, and was involved in Greek life and club sports.
Dean of Students Todd Adams sent an email to inform the community about the loss and to provide resources for emotional support. The cause of death has yet to be determined, but we will keep you updated as more information is released. Turning now to the national debate on gun violence. In the 2 weeks since a 19-year-old gunman shot and killed 17 at a Parkland, Florida high school, students and parents have come together across the country in an effort to make schools safer. Illinois State Representative Ann William called an urgent community meeting on gun violence, and NNN's Keith Borer was there.
Concerned Chicago residents gathered at the Lincoln Belmont Chicago Public Library to discuss gun violence on Saturday in response to the shooting in Parkland, Florida. It's this type of community activism that Illinois State Representative Ann Williams says makes her job easier.
I am so lucky to represent a really, truly engaged and passionate community that cares about issues like these. So that makes my job easier because the job is to be their voice. And when they have a strong, committed voice on an issue like this, it just validates me and my ability to be strong on the issue in Springfield as well.
Representative Williams was not alone. Colleen Daly, a member of the Illinois Council Against Handgun Violence, spoke about how the movement for gun control needs everyone.
And in this movement, we need everybody. It just can't be a law. It has to be activists on every single level, from teachers to students to those who lost their loved ones. It's the only way that we're going to actually change the dialogue on this.
About 60 people listened to a panel, followed by a variety of community members. Many attendees also brought children as a reminder of what they believe is important to protect.
How can they learn if they're afraid? They can't.
Emerson Toomey, a Lane Tech High School student who is helping to organize a Chicago rally for gun control, was grateful for the opportunity to reach out to her community.
Still trying to figure out what we're going to do with the march, and we know that it's important. We want to get as many students especially involved as possible who have been directly affected by gun violence around the city. And to have someone who's willing to give us that encouragement and that leadership is I'm just so grateful for it.
This togetherness is what Daly says she thinks will prevail against gun violence. Keith Borer, Northwestern News Network.
Many schools across Chicago and the country have planned walkouts for later in March. The March for Our Lives event, which was organized by students, staff, and members of the Parkland, Florida community, will take place Saturday, March 24th in Washington, D.C. Sister marches will also take place that day in other cities across the country.
Gun reform advocates say they have had enough pressuring gun makers for change. In the wake of the Parkland shooting, they are targeting banks, rental car agencies, airlines, insurers, and other companies with ties to the National Rifle Association. And the pressure appears to be working. Delta Airlines is ending discounted rates for members of the NRA. United Airlines also is taking action. It will no longer offer discounts on flights to the NRA annual meeting. Meanwhile, in the rental car market, Enterprise Holdings will end the discount deal it has with the NRA. Enterprise Holdings runs Enterprise, Alamo, and National. Avis Budget Group, which owns Avis and Budget, and Hertz, will also discontinue their NRA discounts. In the financial industry, MetLife is ending its discount program for NRA members, and the First National Bank of Omaha has pledged to discontinue its NRA-branded Visa card. Investment management company BlackRock, which has significant holdings in weapons manufacturers, has not yet taken any direct action, but has told its gun makers it wants to understand their response to the shooting. Bank of America also said it will begin to question gun makers. Experts say cutting ties with the NRA could have serious negative implications for bottom lines. Businesses risk putting their relationships with certain customers who support the NRA at risk. Meanwhile, shares of gun maker American Outdoor Brands have dropped 8% since the day after the shooting, and shares for Vista Outdoor have declined 7%. With Money Minute, I'm Matt Stunn.
Thousands gathered at Daly Plaza in downtown Chicago this weekend for the Illinois Working People's Day of Action rally, and NNN's Nikki Griswold was there.
That's right. It was one of more than 25 such rallies held around the country on Saturday in support of the labor movement and union rights. The main goal was to protest against the U.S. Supreme Court case Janus versus AFSCME, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. The case is facing a powerful backlash from those in the labor movement who see it as a blatant and personal attack on the unions that protect workers' livelihoods.
Show them that we're union strong!
There is strength in numbers. That was the theme of Saturday's rallies, where public sector workers demonstrated their strong opposition to Janus versus AFSCME. The issue in contention is the fair share fee government workers are required to pay if they choose not to be union members. The case's plaintiff says this fee violates his First Amendment rights by requiring him to subsidize a union whose political advocacy he disagrees with. But labor rights activists say the fee is justified because public sector unions are required by law to negotiate benefits and wages on behalf of all government employees, union members or not. For Anna Miller, standing in solidarity with her fellow union members was important enough to justify making the trip to Chicago from her home in Indiana.
My union's given me at least the peace of mind to be able to just plan 1 year ahead, to plan for my retirement. Otherwise, I really can't imagine where I'd be right now.
The speakers at Saturday's rallies spoke of the importance of unions in a democratic society. But Janus versus AFSCME could lead to higher union dues and a decline in membership.
It hurts unions' treasuries. It's designed to take income and revenue away from the unions.
Many shared fears that this case is part of a troubling trend.
The wealthy politicians like Rauner, frankly like Emanuel, like Trump, are making a broad-scale attack on the public service, on the social safety net, and really working-class people in general. It falls hardest on working-class people of color.
The Supreme Court heard oral arguments for Janus versus AFSCME on Monday. The case's outcome will affect public sector unions in 22 states, including Illinois.
So, Nikki, Janus versus AFSCME is expected to be one of the most high-profile Supreme Court cases of 2018. Could it have an impact on the upcoming Illinois gubernatorial elections?
Absolutely. Incumbent Governor Bruce Rauner actually issued an executive order in 2015 to eliminate the same fees that Janus versus AFSCME case is looking to get rid of. So many Illinois workers see Rauner as the initiator of this Supreme Court case and what they see as an attack on the public sector working class. Rauner is actually running for re-election this year, so I'm sure many Illinois voters will be keeping this case in mind when it comes time to vote.
Great, thank you for your reporting.
All right, well, after a cloudy few days, the sun is finally out again. Let's send it now to NNN's Mano Blackman for a check of the weather. Mano, we are loving this warmer weather.
That's right, Andrew and Isabel. Right now it's a balmy 60 degrees. If we take a look outside at the Rock, you can see a few people walking by in some lighter clothes. A little while ago, we even saw someone walk by with just shorts and flip-flops. That might be because we actually got up to 63 degrees today, just about 10 degrees under. We've also gotten a bit of a break from the clouds and snow lately, but both will be back by week's end. I'll have more on that and your full 5-day weather forecast in less than 10 minutes.
Great, and coming up, students pitched their ideas for NU's next big change. Students at Northwestern often face problems that could take full school years to solve, but on Saturday, the Associated Student Government gave them the opportunity to tackle these issues in one weekend through the Improve NU Challenge.
NNN's Emma Evans was there.
Ready, set, pitch. Northwestern students pitched their best ideas to enhance student life at the first ever Improve NU Challenge on Saturday. Students worked with 1 to 3 teammates to develop a strategy to improve Northwestern, but it didn't end there. They then had to pitch that strategy to a panel of administrators and student judges from ASG.
I think on any campus, a huge challenge that students face is that we all have ideas to improve campus, but we really don't know how to go about it.
So, Ahuja created the Improve NU Challenge to change that, by giving students access to resources that can make their ideas reality.
My goal was really to show students that anyone can make a change. It may be difficult at first to figure out what the path is or what the steps are, but that was my goal with the Improve NU Challenge, to put some steps and put some path in place for that.
The winners received cash prizes of up to $7,000 to realize their ideas.
And that's exactly what the first place winner, Neha Basti, did with her curriculum-based wellness project called the Enmeliora Initiative, Latin for Towards Better Things.
College kind of was a shock to me because it was a lot more intense than I had ever anticipated. I came in ED and I was like, this is my dream school, everything's perfect. And I faced some challenges socially, academically, and I didn't really know how to handle them. Why do we not have deep conversations about our insecurities, our doubts, our mental health on a regular basis? There isn't a space to do that. And the need to have more honest conversation is kind of where this entire project came from.
But ASG hopes that everyone took something meaningful away from the experience, even those who didn't go home with the prize.
My goal is to personally meet, to talk to those 25 teams and say, if you're passionate about it, let's do something about it.
It shouldn't just be that people in ASG have all these connections to administrators. Every student should have the right to express their concerns to the people who run the university that they go to.
Express their concerns and use their ideas to find solutions for all students. Emma Evans, Northwestern News Network.
ASG hopes to make the Improve NU Challenge into an annual Northwestern event to continue to empower students for years to come. So what are some other ways students think NU can be improved? We asked them for this week's edition of Rock Talk.
My name is Meredith Sonnefeld, and I'm here at the Rock asking students how they would improve NU. How would you improve Northwestern?
I'd probably start by enacting something that requires everyone to probably take an ethnic studies class.
I think there's a cultural problem kind of with Northwestern. I think I'd have a bigger focus on mental health awareness and stuff like that, and just really ensuring that students are comfortable, and that I think there's so much stress that's put on every student.
Improving the experience for low-income students. I think that here at such an elite university, a lot of opportunities should be made available to everyone and not just those who can afford it.
I would like to see some changes made to the dining halls, improve the quality of the food there, I'd say, and ideally improve the quality of the coffee as well, because as a big coffee drinker myself, that's something that's pretty important to me.
I'd say it would be great if we could improve our access to mental health resources. Sometimes it's difficult to schedule appointments over the phone with CAPS.
Yeah, so I think Northwestern has obviously come a long way in the decades, but I do think that Northwestern would be better if it helped its students out a little bit more with tuition.
Okay, I would have more brew bike stands throughout Northwestern instead of just having Norbucks, Starbucks,
I would burn Greek life to the ground.
And if you have an idea for a future Rock Talk topic, tweet at us at @NNN_news.
With a few days recently feeling like spring, we're all hoping there aren't any more freezing temps in the forecast. I'm Anna Blackman, and coming up, I'll let you know what weather to expect in the next 5 days. Welcome back, and here's your 5-day forecast. Tomorrow, bring out the umbrellas because you're going to have some showers throughout the day with a 50% chance in the morning as you walk to those early classes and rain into the evening. Keeping with the spring weather, we have a high of 49 and low of 36. Into Thursday, temperatures will drop a bit with a high of 40, low of 28, turning some of that Wednesday rain into possible snow showers in the afternoon. Stay inside and watch some Netflix in the evening because we're getting hit with 20 to 30 mile-per-hour winds. Friday will finally get a break from the rain, but temperatures just keep dropping. It'll be partly cloudy with a high of 38 and low of 30. Bringing us to Saturday with relatively the same high and low, but a bit of sunshine coming through and clear skies to make it better. To finish the weekend, Sunday will be partly cloudy and slightly warmer with a high of 43, low of 37. Possible showers in the evening, about 40% chance that will carry into next week. That's your 5-day weather. I'm Mano Blackman. Back to you.
Thanks, Mano. A Northwestern program gives young Chicago students the opportunity to develop science skills while making some unlikely friends. NNN's Joey Safchik has the story.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Encouragement like this is common at Science Club, a Northwestern Science and Society initiative. Science Club is celebrating its 10th year by continuing its tradition of inspiring middle school Chicagoland students to engage in the sciences. Students, typically from Chicago Public Schools, meet after school once a week to work in small groups led by an NU graduate or PhD student. Mentor Priscilla Ambrosi, a PhD student in neuroscience, says she loves teaching the students, but she most looks forward to hearing about their weeks and bonding with them.
I don't know who's teaching more here. Like, you know, of course I have a lot to offer them, but I feel like a lot of times they are the ones teaching me things.
The club's associate director, Rabia Mayes, believes students' middle school years are prime for discovering what they're passionate about.
We specifically focus on and connect with young people who may not have other opportunities in the sciences, but are incredibly excited and interested and engaged and have all the potential in the world to explore science if that's what they choose.
But it's not all fun, games, and friendship here at Science Club. Students told me that through these relationships often stem products of scientific merit, which they're proud to show off to their classmates through science fairs and exhibitions.
I'll be in school, I'll be like, oh yeah, I got science club today, and I'll be happy.
According to second-year Science Club student Jade Gilbert, it's the sometimes challenging work that keeps her coming. Gilbert hopes to one day be either a basketball player or a surgeon, an ambition she says she didn't have until she began working with Science Club as a 7th grader. Joey Safchik, Northwestern News Network.
According to their website, Science Club provides a space for over 100 students to each year hypothesize about what their future can be.
A new wearable device could change the game for stroke rehabilitation. Northwestern's very own Professor John A. Rogers, in partnership with the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, developed a new bandage-like sensor to be worn on the throat to measure patients' swallowing ability and speech patterns. The sensors help with diagnosis and treatment of aphasia, a communication disorder associated with strokes. Rogers and the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab are also collaborating to test the sensors on patients with other conditions like Parkinson's disease.
Chicago's iconic John Hancock building is getting a new name. The owners of the 100-story skyscraper say the insurance company the building was named after asked to have its name and logos removed from the building. The new name is still in the works, but in the meantime, the building will be known by its address, 875 North Michigan Avenue.
And coming up, WNUR's unusual partnership with one sports team on campus. Stay tuned. Aspiring sportscasters have the opportunity to practice their play-by-play announcing with WNUR Sports. Of the many sports WNUR covers, the station has formed a unique relationship with the Northwestern men's baseball team. NNN's Adam Bronstein had the chance to sit down with one of the station's sports directors and some NU baseball players to learn more.
So whether the team is playing down the street in Evanston or Glendale, Arizona, we broadcast that game because we have to, but also because we want to. There's a reason that we signed up for this.
The relationship allows WNUR broadcasters to work on their skills in the sport that offers the most professional pathways in the field. But those around the baseball team are quick to point out that they also benefit from this arrangement.
I mean, it's a great experience really for everybody involved. Myself, it's a lot of fun. And I know, fans back home, parents, relatives, really enjoy it, and then our players. I mean, it really helps them going through process, going through a pregame interview, going through a postgame interview, all of those things. It just has really helped to elevate our program.
My parents probably come to 3 or 4 series a year, but they're able to listen to every single game, so it's been an awesome tool for us, and my grandparents get to listen to it as well. Friends from back home, so it allows us to keep in touch more.
I come out of a game, out of a starter, even games I'm not throwing, and you have so many texts, things like that. It's great to have a following like that. It's huge for the program.
Sometimes we see individual parents who are listening, and it's really nice just to know that individual parents are listening and enjoying it and able to catch up and listen to their sons play the game that they might not be able to watch. So it's really nice. It makes me feel all warm and gushy inside.
Links to listen to the broadcast are available on both WNURsports.com and the Northwestern Athletics website before and during each game. From Evanston, Illinois, I'm Adam Bronstein, NNN Sports.
Coming up, we'll introduce you to an NU student with a passion for piano. Welcome back to the Northwestern News Report.
This week in Northwestern Newsmakers, NNN Sian Shin introduces us to a Beanon School of Music graduate student pursuing her passion for the piano.
From the first tap of a key, Heejin An found her forte in playing the piano. She was 3 years old when she attended her first piano class, and her love has stayed in tune. She is now a third-year graduate student pursuing a Doctor of Musical Arts, or DMA for short.
Piano is a big part of my life, and it is the most rewarding to me when I make accomplishments, even small ones that happen in a practice room by myself.
Some of these accomplishments include completing both her bachelor's and master's degrees at Juilliard, and now her practice room is at Northwestern. She wanted to escape the stressful lifestyle of New York and wanted to experience a campus life. But no matter if she's in New York or Evanston, practice is key for Anne. And after all these years of practice, music has become a part of her DNA.
I think everything should just come out naturally. Like, as a person, you don't try to express yourself. It just shows through how you talk, like how you walk and what you wear. And I think playing the piano is just one of them.
James Giles, who has been Anne's teacher for 3 years, says the power of her music is in its versatility and its color.
Well, Heejin has a special internal strength, I think, a core, you might say, to her sound and to her music making that makes it very compelling to people immediately.
Anne attributes a big part of her musical passion to her belief in the power of music.
I'm very thankful that I can communicate with my audiences without a word, but in a very strong way. And I think that's a special gift.
And this is a gift that she hopes to continue giving. Sian Shin, Northwestern News Report.
All right, what a wonderful story. Well, let's bring back Mano Blackman for a final check of the weather.
I heard there might be some snow this week. What's the forecast looking like?
Unfortunately, that may be the case. While snow is expected Thursday, the good news is that the weekend is looking particularly sunny, and we can also expect these warm temperatures to stick around for a little while longer. We'll dip back into the 30s Friday. Temps should begin to rise again.
Just another reason to look forward to the weekend.
Absolutely, and that's all for the Northwestern News Report tonight. For all of us here at NNN, I'm Isabel Lawrence.
I'm Mano Blackman.
And I'm Andrew Merica. Thanks for watching.